Okay, here we are again, Baruch Hashem, another 5 minutes of Tefillah, B'siyata Dishmaya. And Rosh Hashanah Pinkus continues today in explaining to us that which we learned yesterday is not just possible, natural, and completely attainable. So let's remind ourselves, we learned yesterday that the machlokes is Rambam and Ramban, Maimonides versus Nachmanides, as to the obligation of prayer. Said the Nachmanides, said the Ramban, that when one is bitzara, you have an obligation mid-da'oraisa to daven. And the words of the chinuch, those penetrating words, that if someone doesn't, Oyin shoy gadol me'oid. Said the chinuch, if someone doesn't daven when he really needs Hashem's help, he's kimeser hashkachasei me'alav. Rachmana litzlan is scary. You're as if telling Hashem, I don't need your help. And we explained yesterday that this is in all scenarios, whether it's a traffic jam, whether it's a conversation with a friend, a spouse, a boss, whether it's something at work. In every situation when there's an element of tsar, an element that I need something, we have to accustom ourselves to daven. So continues the Shimshon Pinkus, and he says, in reality, this is possible. With a little bit of work, you're able to do this. And he says, you know what? In reality, in truth, if you're about to fall off a ladder, hope it never happens, what would you do? So if I would be standing next to you, you would ask me to help you. If you're about to go through something, you call out to the person next to you for help. So if we were to believe Hashem is right there next to us, we'd automatically call out for help. But then he goes one step deeper. And he says, you're climbing up the ladder and you're going to, change a light bulb. I have Ben on over here, so maybe you're building a house or something. And the ladder starts shaking a little bit. Without even thinking, there's no one around. You say, help! Who are you screaming to? There's no one there. There's no one there. And it's not that you're screaming because you're hoping maybe someone's going to hear. No. You're screaming instinctively. When one touches something and he doesn't realize it's hot. It happened the other day in the house. There was a bowl that was sitting on top of a flame. Why the bowl was on a flame, it doesn't really make sense. Of course, I was at fault. But when my daughter touched the bowl, ow! Why? What are you screaming for? Because instinctively and automatically, when you touch something that causes pain, when you're in a situation of tsar, our nature that Hashem created us in the very deep recesses of our being, programmed as part of our DNA, is to call out for help. So if we realize that that's the way Hashem created us, now we can come to the understanding that when we need something, it's not foreign. It's not strange. It's not that we have to come up with this new earth-shattering idea. No, it is something that we could do. Now we just have to channel it in the right direction. Now we just have to realize that whenever we need something, we could cry out, we could call out. Now we just have to realize to channel it one step further and channel it into Hashem helping us. And he concludes this section by saying something incredible. He says, and I would like to read you his words. He says, if I could find his words, it would be much easier. He says, I still can't find his words. Give me a second, I apologize. He says as follows. He says that when you're driving, you look out the windows and it looks like the trees are rushing towards you. So when we're in a time of distress, you know what it looks like? It feels like the whole world is rushing at our face. We're falling on the ground. Everything is flying to us. He says we got it wrong. That's not what's happening. The trees aren't moving closer to you. The trees are stationary. If the trees are moving closer to you, you should not be driving at this moment. But the trees are stationary. What's moving? You're the one moving. Says of Shimshon Pinkus, you know what's happening over here? Mashal in Isaiah Ba'agala. I finally found it. Shenin Melosh Atzea Ya Roitzen Likrasai. It looks like the trees are rushing towards you. Ube'emes Enokim. Ella Machmas Ritzitzai Aleihem. You're running? It looks like the trees are coming to you. Your eyes can't really tell. Sometimes a child will ask, what's going on over here? You know what happens at a time of need? You know what happens, Rahman al-Islam, when you're falling off the ladder? When you need to get to that business meeting on time? When you need to have atzlacha with the child or with the help? Ratz HaKadosh Baruch Hu kaviyachol u'miskarev la'adam l'sayei. Hashem is running towards you to to help you. And the more that we realize that, the more that we come to the realization that Hashem is rushing to help us, the quicker we'll be able to dig deep down, to rechannel that feeling, to yell out for help. Have a wonderful day.